We should be live right about now. Hello, everyone.
Hello?
Greetings, friend.
Yes, and we're back, and that was quite an eventful week yet again. More Sonic news. Wasn't that lovely? So, you guys enjoyed the Sonic Orchestra?
I did. It was very beautiful, especially the unlocked section.
Like,
Am I lagging still?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Huh.
Hold on.
Guess we'll just start it easy for now. But yeah, the orchestra, the symphony, that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. That was very nostalgic at a lot of points. I guess one awkward bit is that they started with a lot of obscure choices, which I really loved, the Sega Game Gear songs and all that. But because of that, I kind of expected them to go literally through every single Sonic game in existence. So then when they start skipping a few, there's immediately panic. Where's Sonic CD? Where's Sonic Heroes? Ah! No, they just had a lot of obscure choices at the start. I guess it makes sense if they go through every single video game. It would be a very long symphony. Not that I would have minded.
I never got the chance to watch it because I've been working my bum off for the last couple of weeks working on a Sonic 30th anniversary picture, which I've been trying to upload today. I'm just so glad I finally finished it.
It's a pretty epic picture, yeah. But don't you listen to music while working on it? I always.
Oh, I want to watch it in my own time, but now it's over. I'm gonna find the time to watch it over the weekend.
All right, just do whatever you want. I'm not ordering you to. But that was a very nice bonus.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it.
Okay, you're sounding good so far. Keep talking.
Oh, okay. I was really surprised to see the inclusion of Tails' Adventure as part of the lineup for the songs they did.
Yep.
Surprised that they didn't do Heroes at all, and like the only representation of Heroes in Adventure 2 was in the Crush 40 thing.
Yeah, indeed. That was surprising.
And also they did the Sonic Heroes theme song instead of What I'm Made Of, which Johnny says is his favorite, so I'm surprised they didn't do that one.
I thought What I'm Made Of was included. Maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, well, I guess Sonic has so many good songs, it's hard to do all of them. I'm just glad they at least picked a couple, obscure ones, so it's not the same songs over and over. But yeah,
Yeah.
especially Sonic Boom had absolutely no representation, I think. Or Sonic Boom. Or Sonic Advance, or Sonic Rush. Eh.
Yeah.
Would have been nice if the Jet Set Radio Sonic Rush composer also had an appearance. What's that, Luke? Do you say something?
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
But yeah, the captain's sounding good, so I guess now we're finally officially on our way. That's nice. I prepared a little intro for today, so hold up. I guess we'll skip to that now in just a moment.
Five, four, three, two, one. Hedgehogs are go.
Just a stupid intro I felt like making because the Thunderbirds 2 suddenly showed up as a bad guy in one episode. That was a surprise. I mean, I know that the Japanese love making references to anime and all that, but didn't expect them to reference an old British show.
So are we talking about episode 7?
Not yet, sorry. I think I wanted to bring one little detail up on the anniversary because I noticed, is you guys saying something interesting? Like, he mentioned a couple times that Sonic had, like, 3 watershed moments in his history. Like the original game, Sonic Adventure, and now the Sonic movie. And yet again, he said that the new game was going to be, like, an entire new foundation. But he keeps saying that all the games up to now have been based on Sonic Adventure, which kind of annoyed me because the past decade has clearly been more based on Sonic Unleashed. Like, he really seems to be throwing Sonic Unleashed under the bus lately. I wonder why that is. Do you notice that, Captain?
I have. There's so many times where they pretend like Sonic Colors started this era.
Yeah, it's like they're saying that they're going to hit the reset button on the Sonic franchise, and they've been saying that for the last several years on previous Sonic games.
Well, never literally, but yeah, they are making noise that apparently we're going in a brand new crazy direction now, so well, probably the open world game, as people on the street have been saying, so we'll see. But it's kind of funny how low, how to say, how kind of, like, for a game that's supposed to be like the next big thing, the next Sonic Adventure killer, it's advertised so far in such a bland way. Like, ever since you got that first initial picture with the Sonic grabbing the ring, and later the teaser itself with Sonic just running through a forest, that nothing about it really screams like, oh man, this is going to be like an amazing, great game. But oh well. I guess we didn't get the official teaser introduction yet. This is just a reminder to us that something is happening. Also, anyone interested in the Minecraft thing?
No.
I was until I found out that it's only on Bedrock Edition and I have Java Edition, so unless somebody mods it into Java Edition, I can't play it.
Ah, that sucks to hear. That's a shame. Well, good thing you tell me. I guess I can better research which Minecraft to get. I thought I also own Minecraft on my PC, but I can't find it anymore. But yeah, I'm playing it.
If you have it on console, it's definitely Bedrock Edition.
Alright, cool. I think I have it on the PlayStation 3 and on the Wii U. I have to check that later on.
Yeah, I've got Minecraft on the 360 that I haven't touched in ages.
Alright. Well, I wonder if the new one works. But yeah, I wanted to check it out. It looks kind of interesting. Especially exploring Till's garage looks pretty fun. And I love some of the models. I kind of have a soft spot for those retro 3D graphics. And I kind of like how Amy looks like with the belt. Maybe I should draw her like that too.
We could also talk about the leaked Sonic Prime concept images, because for what I've been theorizing with the multiverse thing, they might go for like be similar to that of Crash 4, and it kind of does in some screenshots, like with the open portals and also like alternate Eggmen. Like Eggman now has his own extended family.
Yeah,
technically, the proper plural of Eggman is Eggmans.
Eggmen.
No, it would be Eggmans because it's a proper noun.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, and you were upset about Sonic doing the little dance.
Yeah, Sonic does the Take the L Fortnite dance in one of the images. So that's
in Crash 4, you got like a badass version of Torna. In Prime, you got yourself a badass version of Amy who looks like a cave girl.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that. She looks really interesting.
On one hand, I'm not too upset about Sonic doing the dance. I mean, I remember every cartoon in the 90s always having like an Elvis Presley or Saturday Night Fever kind of reference. So, but yeah, the fact it shows up in the concept art, that is a little bothersome. Because, you know, it being a quick little background joke from the animators to fill up some filler time is one thing. But
I suppose it's kind of like how in the movie you've got Sonic doing a Fortnite dance.
Well, yeah, and now he's doing another one. I suppose maybe they just needed to draw him dancing in celebration, and they just picked something random that they could draw. And so maybe with the final animation, he'll be doing something else, but we'll find out.
It doesn't really matter, even if he does the dance a little quickly. But yeah, I hope it doesn't say anything that it's in the big concept art. But yeah, we'll see. But man, I love how the concept art looks in terms of colors and style. It looks amazing. But then again, I thought the same about Sonic Boom's concept art, and that didn't come across in the finished product. So maybe I guess I just love concept art more than because it's the same with Sonic Forces and Team Sonic Racing. That also has super awesome concept art, but the graphics itself in the finished product is kind of dull. I guess I just kind of like the roughness of concept art. But yeah, Sonic Prime. Like on one hand, I really don't like the fact it takes place in different dimensions. I mean, that's a fun concept for a couple episodes, but for an entire show, that feels very unstable. On the other hand, I kind of understand why they're doing it, because the main characters are just not allowed to have any kind of depth or background, or the writers just don't have any flexibility with those characters. So I guess the only way to do anything interesting with them is by depending on alternative dimensions. See, this is why I would have liked the new show or the IDW comics to just be its own thing and just be completely disconnected from the games. Like when you connect it to the main games, you're just immediately stuck with Sega's mandatory rules that nothing is allowed to be interesting. So, but yeah, we'll see. Sorry, yeah.
I was just agreeing with you.
But I guess we talked enough about this week. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. Although I'm sure this is going to be the last of the big news we receive in a very long time. So I guess now it's just radio silence up until Sonic Colors Ultimate arrives, which I have no interest in getting. But I will chase down the Minecraft one eventually.
Yeah, or when Paramount eventually stealth drop a Sonic 2 movie teaser in the coming months.
Of course, that's true too. If they're clever, they do it around the time of Sonic Colors Ultimate's release, then they can kind of help each other with the promotion. But that's up to them. So, I guess we move on to Sonic X officially now?
Yes.
Alright.
Alrighty, so I don't have a skit for the first episode. The one with Cream picking flowers and causing a problem with the party going on. Luke, what are your thoughts on the episode?
I thought it was a very nice, down-to-earth episode. I mean, where it's all just set in one location with the house party, and also it's a breakout episode for Cream, where like she's all alone and isolated. She's completely separated from her mum, and also like there's also problems with Chris's mum, and it really gives them more depth.
Yeah. I mean, it's... first, Captain, what are your thoughts on the episode?
Well, yeah, I thought it was a rather boring episode, honestly, because mainly the premise of the episode is just Cream ruining everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I guess the problem with this episode, it's the second episode in a row that's a comedy episode actually mostly focused on the humans. Although, even though Cream is technically the main character, he doesn't have that much screen time. So, when I watched this before, all the way back in 2003, these two episodes really didn't endear me to the show. And, like, the comedy of this show is kind of off. Like, it's very close to something funny, but they never quite hit their stride. And the last episode with the evil robot teacher, at least the concept was hilarious to me. Like, Eggman sending a robot terrorist force kids to love him. Here, the comedy doesn't really work for me because I don't really get characters' motivations. I mean, like the big thing is that Chris is keeping information secret from Stewart, his teacher. Except,
yeah. There was a bit where like Mr. Stewart is studying a painting, a lot of things going on around him, and I feel like he kind of knows what's going on, but he's pretending he doesn't because he immediately quickly left at the end.
Exactly. It's so confusing. I don't know what the characters are trying to accomplish. I mean, Mr. Stewart already knows Chris has a connection with Sonic, so I'm not sure what kind of information he's trying to get. And then in this episode, he literally sees all the characters physically show up, and then he pretends he doesn't see them. At first, I thought that the joke was that because he's trying to install like a secret machine under the painting, like a chip that...
Yeah, a bug.
So we can hear. So I thought the joke was supposed to be that he's so busy trying to pretend he's like watching the painting to try to install the bug that therefore he doesn't notice the characters are there, except maybe he does. And when he does notice them, he just leaves. And like it's such a weird episode. Like it could have been funny, but and then like Sonic and Friends, all of them are either stupid or just don't care about being caught. Even though the whole premise is that the fact they're not supposed to be caught. I mean, I guess Cream is just very innocent, but then Tails and Amy are stupid, and Sonic just shows himself for no reason. I just don't get the character's motivation, so the whole jokes don't really work.
It was weird that like Mr. Stewart was almost portrayed as a villain in this episode. Every time he took the bug out of his pocket, it would like emphasize it with like the glint. But he like, yeah, he just never actually plants it for some reason. He I'm pretty sure like his mission there was to bug it, not because like they're trying to confirm that Sonic's there. They know Sonic's there. They're just trying to learn more about him. But then he leaves with the bug anyway. So he really had no purpose in this episode.
Even though, yeah, he is the antagonist. Because,
one bit that kind of annoyed me was when Chris's uncle, Sam Speed, comes around. He was like, fast puns, speed, fast puns, I'm making fast puns, blah, 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 all that.
It was just a joke, yeah, except, again, it didn't really work. I have to give credit to the English version again. I'm surprised how often I kind of prefer the 4Kids version. At least they make him, like, say more, like, cringy dad jokes, which at least makes kind of more sense. Like, I'm so fast, I came to my birth before my mom. It's like, okay, at least that's like a dumb dad joke. In the Japanese version, he's even more weird, where he just says a lot of things. Oh, I'm super fast. I sleep fast. I eat fast. I love fast. It's like, okay. It's not even funny or anything. So it's really weird. Like, Sonic X has a really weird sense of humor. It's kind of telling that whenever they're not telling a joke, it's funnier than when they're actually trying to be funny.
A detail I do like about his speech, though, was when he actually got serious and started talking about Sonic and how Sonic is like this legendary thing. I thought that was a nice bit of character building right there. It was very interesting because like Sonic is this like legendary character, and we like almost never see that from an outsider's perspective.
That's a good point. Yeah, I do like that. So again, there's a lot of potential. It's not like I hate this episode or anything. I mean, definitely the ingredients or puzzle pieces to a very funny episode are definitely there. It just doesn't click. It's just really strange.
Oh, another thing I did notice about the episode was near the beginning where they're at school. I mean, we've seen their school a few times, but this is the first time I've noticed that the school is actually more Western. It's not a Japanese school at all, so
yeah,
that was very interesting as far as anime goes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the show is supposed to take place in America, so I guess it's kind of a mix between America and Japan, or at least America seen through Japanese eyes. But you're right; it is very rare an anime show doesn't take place in Japan, and even when it doesn't take place in Japan, it's usually just a fantasy world, not like an actual other place in the world.
Yeah, and then they still try and include Japanese elements into their settings.
Yeah, exactly. Although I kind of love it when the Japanese set it in America or Europe, because you always get like this super romanticized, awesome theme park version of it, which I always find endearing. Like I love it when it's just like this super America that isn't based on the actual America, but it's just how foreigners kind of want America to be or something. You get this super America. I love that. But yeah, again, it's just a kind of weird episode. I kind of love the concept, but it doesn't quite work. One moment
it kind of has that old timey American sitcom feel to it, or like those '80s, those cheesy '80s movies with the alien, like they've got to hide the alien and all that.
Yes,
it's actually a really good point. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a classic. But yeah, the setting is kind of weird. One thing I found funny between the Japanese and American version is at one point the Japanese Sonic X episode makes a joke so weird that the Americans don't even bother to try to translate it. I mean, there's one point where they complain about the television not working, and then Mr. Tanaka suddenly said, "Oh, I want to watch samurai movies," and then that's supposed to be a joke, and then Chris makes a pun, and I didn't get it at all. I found it funny in the American version they don't even try to make it a joke. He's just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Mr. Tanaka." So even the localizers didn't know what to do with that joke. I was like, weird.
That was the next episode, actually.
Oh, darn, I'm screwing up.
Speaking about the one with the house party, I believe the painting that Mr. Stewart looked at in the Japanese version, it was based on an actual piece of art, but I think in the 4Kids version they changed it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the style is kind of the same, but simplified. Yeah, it's a Piet Mondrian painting. I know that because it's a Dutch artist, so I need to know that. The one famous for all the squares. He's like the ultimate artist you pick when you want to make a joke about modern art. Like, oh, it's so simple, even a child could do it. Like, he's the ultimate artist to make that joke about. But yeah, that's true. In the Japanese version, it's like an actual representation of his actual paintings, while the American version is as a parody of it, or like a homage to it, I guess. But yeah, I guess then we move on to the next episode, which I accidentally did because my memory screwed up. Sorry.
One last tiny little thing is,
Yes.
once again, Cream pretending to be a doll is adorable. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah. The Sonic characters are very adorable in this episode. That's
Yeah,
great.
you can tell she's trying her hardest not to cry when being told about like Chris's mum and that.
Yeah. I guess we don't give Cream enough credit. And it kind of is kind of brave that she starts yelling at Chris for disrespecting his mom.
Yeah.
It's a nice dramatic moment. But yeah, the comedy just doesn't work in this episode. It's kind of too random for me. Alright, moving on to the next episode. In this case, I do have a skit. Sadly, the only skit I have today because the past weeks have been brutal for me yet again. So, time for a little stupid skit.
Problem is, the tornado's too slow. So, what you ought to do is soup this birdie up a little bit.
I could try.
Did you finish?
Yup, we sure did. Come on, I'll show ya.
Oh, the power ring.
Thunderbirds are gone.
Ta-da!
So, the Thunderbird episode. Like I said before, I really hated the fact they gave Sonic this power ring that is like an instant win thing. So even this whole episode is about them making the tornado more powerful so they can outrun this robot, and then Sonic still just kills it with the power ring like in any other episode.
It was so weird because like you have to funnel this energy through this cable, and when I watched it, I was like, "What's going on?" I mean, like Sonic just goes thingy and just bashes it.
Yeah, so in the end, the whole rebuilding of the tornado wasn't necessary at all. It kind of reminds me of some Power Rangers episode where it bothers me, where like in Power Rangers they always have this sword attack that kills all the monsters in one hit. But then there's like a special episode where, like a two-parter, where they have to lose a fight because they need more power. Except in a fight where they lose, they never use their instant weapon kill, or their instant kill weapon. So the episode, I never buy the premise. I'm just like, the only reason why you lost the fight is because you didn't use your super attack, you morons.
Yeah, it was like some weird Deus Ex Machina thing, like in Sonic Adventure, when they got the Chaos Emeralds, but like, oh, all its power was transferred to Chaos. But it's like, no, they can still work because they actually have. You can use its negative energy to turn into Supersonic.
Kind of different thing, but yeah, it's also kind of cheating. But yeah, this episode, it's kind of
There's
interesting.
a lot to talk about on this episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe I should let you talk first, Captain. Your thoughts?
Well, first off, this episode's cold open is very pointless. It is just Eggman summoning his robot.
Exactly.
It doesn't even do anything until after the intro.
At least it's kind of relevant this time. Sometimes the cold openings have nothing to do with the episode. It's even funnier when it's just Sonic running around the house. But yeah, I guess so. It's bad timing.
A funny little moment I liked was Tails asking what a stratosphere is, and then Chuck just bursts into the room and explains it like it's some theme song he knows.
Pointing at the sky, saying, "It's right in the sky."
Yeah, I love Chuck. He's great. Oh, I didn't mention the last episode where he kind of jumped through the window, and it was fun. But yeah,
I find it weird that Cream calls television shows programs, which I mean is accurate, but it seems like a weird thing for a child to do.
I guess. Although maybe she doesn't have television in her own world, so this entire television thing is new to her. I guess, and
That
probably
makes
has to do with her being super polite in her way of talking. But yeah, I love the idea of Eggman having a TV show, though. That was great.
When I saw that bit with Eggman with the microphone, I reminded of that bit from your Sonic Mania parody, where it's like, "Now it's time for Singing with Eggman."
Yeah, I really love the idea of Eggman having a TV show. It kind of bothers me that Sonic Boom never did that. Well, I guess they had an episode where he started making movies, but they never, they never even made that Eggman themed. He was just an artist. Sonic Boom's such a waste.
Yeah.
Captain.
So
Yeah.
during this episode, they need to fly the tornado up to defeat this robot, and the first time it fails. But there's this weird moment where Sonic just casually kicks a missile back at the robot,
Yeah.
and
And he
like,
casually got frozen. Like, oh, I was frozen.
no, that was later.
That was the second.
That was later with the Tornado X, as they call it in this episode, for some weird reason. But yeah, Tails rebuilds the tornado completely from scratch, I guess, and freaking Chris asks to put in an extra seat for him just so he can go on these dangerous missions, because we gotta have Chris with us, I guess.
And he takes Amy's place away from her, so we finally get our first instant of him stealing Tails and Amy's already meager parts. Oh, well, I guess Amy befriended Ella and now has access to the kitchen, so I guess he's like, well, get to the kitchen, bitch. I'm taking your part now. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, these episodes finally remind me why I used to hate this show as a kid. Like, it's finally starting. Chris.
Yeah,
So
there
they-
seems to be a lot of like rip-offs and slight plagiarism with Eggman ripping off the Thunderbirds 2, complete with his own rendition of the theme to Thunderbirds. Like, he was like, "No copyright in the universe would stop me." And then you got like a rip-off of Barney the dinosaur, or some purple-looking thing on Cream's TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also a surprise. It's kind of cool how they kind of like imitating Western shows for once instead of just other anime.
So so they take the Tornado X up into space, and even though they are still meeting the robot at its height, suddenly they have an icing problem, and it's funny because Sonic starts to freeze. And Tails is like, "Oh, don't worry, Sonic can take it," and Sonic's like, "Oh, okay," and then he just freezes, and it takes Tails by surprise.
Yep.
It kind of felt like a JoJo's reference, so I'm contractually obligated to bring that up.
There you go. Otherwise, we got 100 comments about it. But yeah, did you guys like the design of the Tornado Axe? I don't really like it. It looks kind of generic, and it's kind of a shame we sacrificed a classic biplane for this. Yeah, look.
I was saying, it looks a bit like a fighter jet, really.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an off-brand Starscream from Transformers.
Yeah, kind of generic. I
This
don't
is a
like
bit bizarre for me, but I can see this sort of thing happening in the second Sonic movie, where Sonic and Tails hijack a jet plane, and after they save the day or something, Tails gets to keep it.
That'd be great. Anyway, yeah. So the fun. This episode's kind of weird in that even though we're still far away from the Sonic Avenger adaptations, it's already kind of starting to adapt Sonic Avenger a little bit. Like starting with getting the Gale's Emerald to power the plane, and also getting those palm trees falling apart, like the palm trees fall, so the landing zone is revealed. I guess that's a reference to Thunderbirds. Now I wonder if they also did it in the original Sonic Adventure as a nod to Thunderbirds. kind of interesting. And like I said before, we get our first instance of Chris Thorndike stealing Amy's thunder, which is going to be his biggest hobby when we get to the Sonic Avenger adaptations.
Especially since at the end of the episode, after I don't remember who, someone thanks Sonic for saving the world, and Sonic, who did all of the work up there, says that he didn't do anything. It was Tails and Chris who get all of the credit.
Yeah,
Even
it's a bit
though
of a mistake, really.
Chris did absolutely nothing.
If anything, Chuck should have gotten the credit. He at least
Well, he
assisted
was the one
Tails.
who gave Sonic the ring energy by doing whatever that was.
Yeah, but that's something Tails absolutely could have done if they had just written Chris out of the episode.
Or Amy, because that's her job usually. But yeah, it's it's great. Oh well, he's our big audience surrogate, so I guess we need to have Sonic praise us by proxy or something.
There you go.
But yeah, it's a very action-packed episode, I have to say. Probably because the last episode didn't have any Dr. Eggman action, so I guess they made up for it in this episode for that. But yeah, any other thoughts on this episode?
Well, I felt the episode felt very Sonic-y. It felt, I mean, it's something like you would see like in the Sonic games with Sonic and Tails on their plane fighting the missiles and all that, and taking most of it taking on a giant thing. I thought it was okay for the most part.
The action is pretty good, yeah, and it would be a cool level in a video game if you actually like a combination between a boss fight and the Sonic 2 flight stage. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it
More
kind of
dynamic
reminded me
this.
like of the tornado stages in like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Unleashed a bit.
Sure.
So, I was thinking of, interestingly, the jailbreak stage from Sonic Forces. With that kind of cinematography, this would make an excellent level.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it will probably never happen, but we can all dream. Yeah, it's a fun episode. I shouldn't have a complaint about it, but yeah, little details that foreshadow problems the show is going to have eventually. I guess we move on to the next episode.
All right.
Yes.
The Beach episode. So, usually an anime of fan service episodes, except like, I don't expect them to do fan service for Amy, although I'm sure there's some Sonic fans who appreciate it. And Eggman making his own theme park, which is great. I love it. Last episode he had his own TV show. Now he's making his own theme park. So I'm glad they're doing a lot of those Eggman things. I love seeing him do that stuff, even though sadly it doesn't really get all that much focus again.
A funny moment I want to bring up in the cold open is that Chris offers to give Sonic swimming lessons, and then immediately forgets Sonic can't swim.
Well, wow, I didn't even notice that. That's great.
Yeah, he says, Sonic, I'll give you a swimming lesson. Then Sonic leaves, and Amy's like, oh, Sonic hates water because he can't swim. And Chris is like, I didn't know that.
Well, I guess he didn't know Sonic hated water, although that should have been an obvious conclusion.
It was a pretty dumb moment. I liked it. A detail I do want to bring up is Amy goes without shoes for most of this episode. And that's something that
because apparently Sonic don't have toes.
yes, which is like something we knew from the games because of Tikal and Big. They wear open-toed shoes. So, but like this is something that they changed in Sonic Forces, and I don't like because now they have more like human-looking feet, but with only one toe. I don't like it. I hope they go back to the old style soon.
I never really got it, yeah. Oh, well, none of it matters. Most artists kind of ignore how the anatomy of the characters anyway. Because I also don't like that Amy doesn't have a 10 stomach. Also kind of weird. It's like weirdly off balance or something.
Well, neither does Shadow or Silver.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if anything, Sonic's the odd one out.
Oh, now you mention it. Damn, I never realized that till now. I'm such a terrible Sonic fan. Oh well, I feel uncomfortable talking so much about the naked characters. Anyway, yeah, this episode is interesting.
So, Amy, I like the moment where she gets hit in the head with a coconut, and then she yells at the coconut. It's a very Amy-ish moment.
It's also something I would do, so to be fair. Anyway, I noticed. I think Amy and Knuckles are now the only two characters who managed to defeat one of Eggman's robots without using a power ring. Sonic always needs the power ring, so does that mean that Knuckles and Amy are technically stronger than him?
Yeah, like Sonic using the ring like some sort of crutch.
Well,
Yeah.
physically, yes, they're both stronger than Sonic. I don't think that's ever been in question.
It has been. They never get a moment of awesomeness in the show. They never get any respect. Even
Strength is literally Knuckles' thing, so that it makes
Yeah,
sense
that's
that
true.
he'd be stronger.
That's true, yeah. Although with Amy in the third episode, her hammer had no effect, so there they didn't really respect it. But oh well. Anyway, I just found it interesting. But yeah, I guess you have a point. They are stronger, although the show doesn't really acknowledge it much. Or I guess they're just dumb. I mean, even in this episode, they just randomly had to have Amy drawn after her fight. It's like, oh, she falls in the ocean just so she's still helpless. Otherwise, oh no, we might think she's actually capable. That would be terrible, I guess.
Speaking of Amy's strength, there's this moment where she's in the X tornado, and she just straight up pushes the canopy open.
Yeah.
Like you would, that thing is meant for space, and she can just shove it open with her bare hands.
I guess when it's for comedic reasons, he's super powerful, yeah. But yeah, I don't have all that much to say about this episode. I love the scenery.
I have a lot to say about this episode.
All right, then I'll leave it to you. Go ahead.
So for one thing, when Sonic starts fighting Octaron, he does the Sonic Rocket from Sonic Battle, or more specifically, he does something that looks like Sonic's down air in Smash Brothers.
Oh, wow.
It's a coincidence, but it's an interesting one. So there's also like several Sonomy moments, so that's always a plus.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
A funny detail is as Amy is crushing Serpenter, she smashes its head, and it breaks in a way that springs her in the air right towards Eggman.
Yeah.
And she acts like she planned that.
Quick on her feet, yeah. That is a fun
And
detail.
yeah, then she starts drowning because even though she can swim, we need Sonic to save her. Which, you know what? It's technically a Sonomy moment, so I'll take it.
Sure. Luke, you
Yeah.
got any thoughts? Yeah?
thought it's a very lovely episode with Amy in the focus and how she truly feels about Sonic and what tries to get her, make Sonic like her by we're making this necklace and overhearing couples. And when you see it actually get crushed, you can actually imagine what's going to happen because of what happens when you piss off Amy. Then you wouldn't like it if you piss off Amy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bracelet was very nice. It was I actually really like this episode. Amy is this episode reminds me why Amy is one of my favorite characters.
Mm.
But also a tiny detail is right at the end when everything's said and done. There's this panning shot that shows Tails and Chris just like dancing on the beach while the entire theme park is burning behind them.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love the whole theme park part. At first, it was so weird. Yeah.
And then yeah, Sonic fixes the bracelet and he's wearing it, and it's sweet.
Very sweet.
This was a great episode.
Yeah, at first I was kind of annoyed that we suddenly went to Chris at the weird party. It's like, what's the point of this? But yeah, when suddenly the theme park concept started, it's like, oh, now I'm loving this. This is great. Oh, that kind of reminds you of something I forgot to say about the previous episode. I kind of love how quickly people make appointments in this universe. Like, where suddenly the mother of Chris was like, oh, you have to go to the other side of the world to a hotel appointment right now. Or Mr. Stewart's like, oh, tonight I'm coming over for a party to you. Like, I'm glad as an artist I don't live in Sonic's world if random appointments just happen out of nowhere like that.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, no preparation time. Just in a couple hours I'm going to be over, so...
It was certainly faster than back at a doctor's appointment.
I love it, yeah. Also, I just read in the comments that apparently this episode is going to be a reanimated project. like where a bunch of fan artists kind of reanimate the whole episode. So I
Oh,
wonder what
that's
they're
awesome.
gonna. Yeah, I bet a lot of feet fetishists would love this episode. They have very specific shots they want to do. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, because I recently watched a reanimate episode of the Sonic versus Knuckles fight, and some of those shots were so hilarious, and I would love to see more reanimated episodes like that.
It's great, yeah. I never want to join it myself because I can never construct a joke in a second of a shot. So my brain doesn't work to that. But yeah, I love watching them. It's great. I love how creative they can be. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, I guess we're done with this episode now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Alrighty, then we move over to the IDW comic. We're talking about the Tangle and Whisper special. Yeah, so as I said before, Tangle and Whisper are probably the most interesting character of this comic, probably because they're the only one who actually have any like freedom to do anything interesting with it, and this comic definitely uses it. So yeah, this story about their backstory, and actually, Luke, why don't you tell us what the story of this comic was?
Yeah, it's a very interesting comic because you thought it's going to be all fun. The first issue gives you like, oh, it's going to be all fun and games with Tangle and Whisper, but over the coming issues, it gets a lot darker when you learn more about Whisper's tragic backstory and her connection with Whisper, who is this sinister shapeshifter. And so
I think you mean Mimic?
Yeah.
Mimic, sorry.
Whisper versus Whisper, what?
Well, yeah, to go with the shape-shifting thing, but yeah, with this sinister shapeshifter called Mimic, and how they have to work together to take him down.
I always thought Sonic Forces was so weird because on one hand it has it's supposed to have like a very heavy story and just it doesn't feel like it. So whenever Sonic like Shadow apparently killed characters off screen, it just feels super out of place. So therefore this comic also felt very weird to me because it's so based on modern Sonic, and yet this is very intense. You have an actual killer as main villain. It's actually about death. Characters get killed off, and Dr. Eggman is treated like an actual like a threat. Like, oh, Dr. Eggman is going to be angry at you. He's coming after you. And it's such a weird thing to me because I'm just thinking, this is Sonic Colors Eggman. Like, just put a banana peel in front of him and he falls on his face, and then Orbot starts laughing at him. You treat him like this terrifying thing. It's so weird to me.
Yeah, like when Eggman is in his control room as the team are getting killed off, you can imagine like he's listening to their screams and that.
Yeah.
Getting them killed off.
But yeah, Melting Man, hello, welcome. I guess we have to give you...
And what am I, chopped liver? I've been here the whole damn time.
But you suddenly randomly show up, so I guess we have to give you an official welcome. So,
I guess
your
you didn't hear
thoughts
my
on this?
comment
Yeah? Can you
I
repeat?
say, I guess you didn't hear me earlier where Luke was making that mistake with the Whisper versus Whisper.
Yes,
Alright,
that's your
it's
introduction.
7:45.
Okay. Anyway, so I was like, the Tangle and Whisper series. Yeah, it's interesting that the first mini-series that they do for IDW Sonic is focusing on the two exclusive characters who are pretty much the Sonic-fied versions of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. But yeah, the whole deal with Whisper and her teammates being killed off. At least there's like, sure, we don't really see, bloodshed or anything happen on screen. At least kind of there, I'm a little more fine with it. And it's mostly just because these characters have a little more screen time compared to how ignored the Jackal Squad was in Sonic Forces. Like, those random characters only showed up in like 2 panels in that prequel comic, and then episode Shadow came along and was like, oh no, apparently he killed them all off screen, I guess, even though we've never encountered any of them.
It's so weird to think of Shadow as a killer anyway, and that was robots. But yeah, it's so weird how it's simultaneously so casual about everything, and then suddenly so dark for no reason. Just like the whole, like, oh, Sonic's being tortured. It's like, geez. Okay, way to...
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind darkness if at least you treat it properly, but when it's just kind of casually thrown in, like, oh yeah, by the way, this character just raped and murdered some people, whatever, don't worry
I
about
didn't
it.
think this comic series would get so grim in the later issues.
Yeah, after the miniseries, then it becomes a little more darker, but we'll save that for another time.
At least
yeah,
the comic,
that whole-
I guess, earns it because it has a consistent tone. It's just the fact that it's connected with the main games, and particularly Sonic Colors and such, it makes it so weird.
Yeah. At least this comic has some context, unlike, what Sonic Forces did with the whole, oh, Sonic's been tortured. Even though with that particular case, that was just more of a translation issue, since in the Japanese version, they just say, like, oh, he's just been locked up and whatever.
But yeah, Captain, so you love Son Amy, so I'm sure you love Tangle and Whisper being all close together, too.
Well, I mean, I don't see why those two are related, but yes.
All right.
Man,
well.
they're definitely two of the most popular characters to be, two characters that are more popular to make a lot of lesbian fan art out of.
You could have just said they've been shipped.
Sure.
I would have been born. Let's spice things up.
We're talking about so much edgy stuff now anyway. But yeah, they're a nice couple. I mean, romantically or not, but just as friends. It's great. I love it. It's a nice moment.
Yeah, I see them just as friends, too.
And then
So, shall we get into the actual story?
I guess you should. So go ahead.
Yeah, might as well.
Alright, so it starts off with Tangle visiting Jewel again. And as they're talking, suddenly there's a commotion outside, and Whisper is trying to kill Sonic for some reason.
I love how weird Sonic's face expressions are that you can immediately tell he's an imposter. It's kind of fun to see more like expression and freedom and creativity in his face expressions.
Yeah, and there's like certain things about him that kind of give it away, like the fact that he jumps on somebody's head. He starts flirting with someone who kind of looks like Amy. He's got brown eyes, so
Plenty of hints,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of
I just
tiny
noticed that he
details.
has brown eyes in those panels.
But yeah, go ahead, Captain. Sorry.
So it's just a whole bunch of tiny details that kind of give away that something is wrong here.
Oh yeah, then of course that did with Sonic crying was like, oh, Whisper's gone crazy. Of course, as we all know, Sonic's not allowed to cry because damn Sega mandates.
Yeah. So, yeah, as it turns out, this is shock of shocks, not Sonic, but a shapeshifter named Mimic.
Yeah, I really like this character because he kind of reminds me of like the T-1000 or the Spider-Man villain, the Chameleon.
Yeah.
Sure.
For me, Mimic actually reminds me more of Metamorphia, a character from the Fleetway Sonic comics who pretty much has the same gimmick, being able to shapeshift.
Sure.
It seems like it might just be a shapeshifter archetype character.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know, like the white dots in his eyes and the black eyelids, they definitely remind me of Metamorphia because she has the same kind of
In
eyes.
one particular panel, Mimic as Sonic kind of bears a similar resemblance to Sonic EXE, where like with him holding the knife.
I don't really see it, but
Maybe if the
guess-
eyes were red, he would probably look
Yeah,
similar.
if the eyes were red, it would absolutely...
yeah, if the eyes were red, then yeah, I can see it. But no, it's
while
just
we're
the
on-
white eyes and the Jack Skellington mouth.
While we're on the subject of Mimic's eyes, if you'll mind, I'm going to actually step out of character for a second.
No!
Oh no!
Sorry to spring this all on you. I think it's interesting that his eyes actually look a little bit like my original character Namasu. So, with the black sclera and the white pupils, it's interesting coincidence. I like it. Anyways,
Back to Captain Theory.
We're all stunned. But okay, that's a nice coincidence. Of course, with so many fan characters, you're bound to get some elements repeating. And it's a pretty cool
Oh,
idea,
yeah.
so why not? But yeah,
There's only so many design decisions in the world.
well, just to stay close to the same core, I guess. But yeah, so we have a shapeshifter running around. Pretty awesome idea. Even if it's done before, it's always a welcome idea. And
Yeah.
Whisper has a personal connection to it. So continue, Captain.
So yeah, they end up getting an invitation to a trap, and there's this weird moment where Tangle says like they better just back off and try to find another way. I don't see why that's a bad idea, because like they know it's a trap, they know where he is, so they should just leave him there, and while he's waiting for them, he's not causing any trouble, and eventually he'll come out.
Or they should just lock the door. Just walk up to his base and just lock the door and melt it shut so he can't escape anymore. And now you're in prison. Bye-bye. It could have
Or
been
just
funny.
go get some reinforcements.
Napalm
And-
bombed the whole base.
Yeah,
Yeah,
instead,
just tag Rouge along and have her drop all those bombs that she did with Neo Metal Sonic.
Or get all the Sonic
instead-
characters in there. Hey, there's a dangerous guy over here. Shadow, Rouge, Sonic, Tails, come over, beat him up. Could have been
One
fun.
panel that I do find a bit amusing, where Whisper shows the photos with Mimic and Sonic up to no good, and one of them is of him punting a chow.
a chow.
A chow.
Yeah, I also noticed that. I thought that was hilarious.
I love that when villains are just petty. That's always fun. It's like they can't do all the destroy the world things, but sometimes just the smaller things that are more fun to do as a villain.
So yeah, Tangle suggests that they not go into the trap, and Whisper is dead set on going into this trap.
Because
And
it's
predict-
personal.
Vendetta.
Predictably, Mimic just completely screws over Tangle. And something I find very stupid is that Mimic lures Tangle out into the open, disguises himself as Whisper, and then they have a discussion where Mimic as Whisper is talking normally, and neither of them think this breaks the disguise. Even though both of them know Whisper enough to know that she doesn't talk like that.
Well, Tangle does realize that, wait, Whisper doesn't talk that loud, but that isn't until too late.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, yeah. I guess they should have put more twists on it and make it more... Oh, well. I guess Ein Flint thought that by showing Mimic turning into Jewel first, that was supposed to be the trick. Like, we're all expecting Jewel to show up and be sad. And so we don't expect Tangle or Whisper to be the Mimic instead. I guess that was supposed to be the twist. But,
Yeah. He first disguises himself as Jewel to get Tangle's attention, then he goes into the Whisper bit.
Another thing I wanted to mention about this is that, like, he specifically calls out that he can shapeshift clothes, which I'll give him. But it's weird that his own clothes disappear. If any Sonic character was justified not wearing clothes, it's Mimic. And yet he does.
Yeah. I don't know. I think sometimes I kind of think Mimic is a lot more like those changelings from My Little Pony: Friendship of His Magic. They pretty much have the same deal. Like, I don't think there ever was a moment, but yeah, even if they did wear clothes, they would just vanish whenever they go into a disguise.
Yeah. Weird that we keep bringing up My Little Pony, but it keeps fitting, so...
Well, that's because I'm the only brony in this whole live stream.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
No, more shocks. Captain, you're allowed to do that, so I don't know why I'm dramatic. But yeah. Luke, are you a brony too? Luke?
Not exactly. I mean, I did watch a few episodes a very long time ago, like one where I think it was like Rainbow Dash in Hospital. I was reading those books, and another one where Twilight Sparkle got a version of her from the future, saying that something bad's going to happen in a week, and she gets paranoid about it. I watched that episode because of how future Twilight looked a bit like Solid Snake.
Oh yeah, everyone was making jokes about that.
Oh, well. But yeah, so you're not a brony, neither am I, so I guess we're a 50-50 on that. I mean, I don't have anything against My Little Ponies, but I'm not a big fan.
But yeah,
Back to
Milky
Sonic.
Man, didn't you hear last time when I was talking about how Jewel the Beetle kind of reminds me of Coco Pomel?
Sure.
Yeah, I remember that. I kind of assumed it's like, oh, you just knew the name only and not actually watched the show. I just kind of assumed that.
Yeah, I like the show. You said Tangle kind of reminds you of Pinkie Pie, but I'd say kind of a... Okay, let's get off that topic.
Well, quick thing before we end it. It's like,
No.
I made the comparison because, Pinkie Pie can easily break the fourth wall, while Tangle has her, like, stretchy tail, which it seems like there doesn't really seem to be a limit. It just stretches out to who knows where. But yeah, anyway, back to the main comic. So, yeah.
So yeah, now we get into Whisper's backstory finally. We find out she was part of a mercenary group, and the picture she has of herself smiling is adorable. I love it.
And she has eyes.
So in the past, she was actually not a very quiet person, which makes the fact that her name is Whisper even weirder.
I guess it used to be an ironic name. Hi, I'm Whisper!
Yeah, and of course, as Roger said, we see Whisper's eyes, which is something we rarely saw in the main series. So in this mini-series, we actually see her open her eyes a lot more often.
There's also Mimic. He rides the Omnipotence from Sonic Riders 1. That's interesting.
Oh, didn't notice that, man. Okay, cool.
There is a couple of weird moments. So after the betrayal by setting up the diamond cutters with a room full of shadow androids, Mimic disguises himself, and like we see it from Whisper's perspective, like him looking for her, which means that like he's not using his mask to look for her point of view, even though that is apparently something they can do.
Yeah, that's a bit of a plot hole, yeah.
Well, like with that bit where we see Mimic looking around trying to find Whisper, yeah, that was pretty much Whisper's perspective. But yeah, interesting seeing the shadow androids being featured in this comic. Kind of ironic because of that whole theory that you went on a few weeks ago.
What theory was that again?
Oh, the one where modern Shadow is just a shadow android, and the real Shadow has not been seen since Sonic 06.
Yeah, that one.
So it's got like a Clone Saga thing going on there.
It was weird that the shadow androids look like they do in the Shadow the Hedgehog multiplayer, rather than the actual canon.
Yeah, that is weird, because the multiplayer mode has like all these multicolors shadow androids, so I guess they chose the orange one to the one that was the closest that looked like Shadow.
It did make me think, like, as you never see the corpses of the diamond cutters, I got this weird idea, like, what if they got converted into like shadow clones, like some sort of variant of the Zombot virus?
I was expecting something, yeah, because indeed, like you said, it's never really confirmed they're dead, so I was kind of expecting a twist. Then again, it might be just because they're too scared to be all in your face about it. Yep, they're dead. Here, their corpses rotting away. I guess they're just... That's supposed to be for kids, so let's be a little careful about it. But yeah, I have to admit,
assume that the shadow android.
I was expecting a twist as well.
Yeah, I just kind of assumed that the shadow androids just ate them all. They just went all cannibal on them. They had a taste for fur and flesh, and now they want more.
Oh boy.
That'd be cool.
A cool little moment I want to talk about was Eggman threatening Mimic, saying that there's no shape you can take that'll protect you from Metal Sonic, which I think is an awesome little detail. It really builds up Metal Sonic's power. I like it.
Yeah, and make Robotnik threatening, which is nice.
Yeah. We don't get that much anymore.
Yeah, Eggman is treated with a lot of respect and weight in this comic series, so that's kind of surprising. And like I said, it's weird to me. I was like, eh. I mean, I like it. It just takes a little time for me to adjust.
Is there like Tangle's reaction after witnessing, or like she can't actually don't know how to process it all?
Sorry, Luke, you said it again. You were a bit glitchy just now.
I was just saying, like, I like Tangle's reaction after watching that flashback. Like, she doesn't know how to process it all.
That's a good point. I guess she's not used to having a super serious story to deal with. But yeah, it's kind of nice to see those characters so like broad and dynamic with their personalities and emotions here. We go through a lot.
And of course, it's also revealed that the mask is also one way that they can actually understand the Wisps instead of using Tails as translator.
That was also an interesting detail, yeah. A lot of world building. Always appreciate it.
I also like the several implications that Tangle is claustrophobic, but they just never outright say it.
Yeah, there's definitely hints of her being claustrophobic.
I thought it was just a consequence of the first times. Like, she wasn't claustrophobic first, but after her first almost death experience in this comic that happened. Was it implied that she had it before?
I don't remember. I don't think it was established in the beginning that she has
because she's definitely scared of it the second time, but I thought it was just a reaction to the first time she was locked in. But yeah, that scene was very intense.
Yeah, when Mimic locks her in the vault, she immediately starts to panic and like says something about like this, don't mess up like last time or something like that.
Oh, I didn't catch that immediately. I just thought he was just worried about oxygen. But yeah, maybe she does have. Maybe we do get more backstory later. Who knows? But yeah, this scene is just terrifying.
After they break out of the vault, which she does way too easily, by the way.
Yeah. Oh well.
Making me wonder why she was worried in the first place. Whisper offers her mask, and she like gets concerned about wearing it because she just had a claustrophobic episode, but she fights through it and puts on the mask to learn the backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that, but I thought it was just a reaction to the first time she locked up in the vault. And let's face it, especially for someone who needs as much space and movement as Tangle, that is pretty much their worst nightmare, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that scene in the vault is pretty intense with the fiery colors too, and yeah, not used to that with Sonic, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we also see how Mimic travels around with that little hovercraft thing. For a while, it kept bugging me. That's like, why does this thing make me remind me of something? It's like, well, it's small, it's blue, it has a drill on the front, and it's like, oh, of course, it reminds me of Tails' little submarine from Tails' Adventure. I don't know if it's intentional, but it just kind of reminds me of that.
No, it is literally the Omnipotence from Sonic Riders 1.
Well, I've never played. I have only played like a little bit of Sonic Riders and gave up on it. But yeah, I'm not familiar with the Sonic Riders series.
In a way, Mimic's hovercraft thing kind of reminds me of Darth Maul's speeder from the Phantom Menace, but blue with a drill on top.
Oh
yeah, it does kind of look like that.
Yeah, I really love the idea that the Sonic Riders stuff is actually used as vehicles. It makes a lot of sense. So I appreciate it. I approve. That's good use of fan service. At least it does world building instead of just being pointless fan service for the sake of it.
Yeah, isn't that right, Sonic Forces?
And can we talk about the nightmarish Vector?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the last issue. Yeah.
I think that might be the scariest thing to ever appear in any Sonic media ever.
Yes, that thing scared me.
Which is actually saying something, considering some of the bosses from Sonic Spinball.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that creepy looking Vector. Basically, this is what Vector looks like when he gets screwed over for not getting paid for doing his job one too many times.
Yeah, I didn't expect such a jump scare to happen in the comic.
This is what Eggman saw at the end of Sonic Heroes.
And also, it kind of reminds me at the end of Terminator 2, where the T-1000 falls into the molten pit, and he morphs and screams and distorts into things.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it was a creepy panel.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the Terminator films. So.
I guess that's
You need to.
That's a
Watch 1 and 2. Only one watch 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will recommend me to just only stick to the first two.
And pretty much only watch Terminator 1 because it makes Terminator 2 better.
The sad thing for me is I grew up on the Terminator through video games as a kid, so I just thought of the series as just a fun little thing for kids, like like a nice action game. And then I watched the movies for the first time. I was immediately traumatized. My first R-rated movie. Good times.
Salvation was alright because it was kind of like how I wanted a Sonic satire movie to be like.
Sure.
Another thing I want to bring up in issue 4, probably the only other thing I want to bring up, is when they trick Mimic into going into this room with all of the other Diamond Cutter's masks. They show this hologram, and I can't remember the tech one's name, but he does a Metal Gear Solid reference, so that's interesting.
Well, I've heard that the Diamond Cutters in general are kind of loosely based off of those characters from Metal Gear Solid.
The Diamond Dogs, I think.
Yeah, that's probably where the reference is from.
One thing I've noticed in the comic, I don't know if I've done, is that you know the cliche where there's like two of the characters and they're like, oh, he's the fake. It's like, no, shoot him, he's the fake. And the other person like doesn't know who to shoot.
Yeah, those kind of moments.
Yeah.
It's surprising that, that whole cliche, like, oh, I'm the real one. No, I'm the real one. Yeah. You think it would happen in this final issue, but no, they never really go that route.
I guess it's just done
Yeah,
too often.
Mimic-
Even in parody form, you just not no more twist you can put on it.
One
Yeah,
thing I'd like
Mimic-
to point out is, like, at the beginning, they, like, mimic in the previous, like, oh, I'll need some backup. It's like, well, there's the backup, a bunch of badniks. And then Whisper just annihilates them all. But it's kind of interesting seeing the combination of, like, robots from Sonic Heroes with the classic badniks. At least there, I'm glad that with the classic badniks, they stuck to the Sonic Generations design and not the stupid chibi ones from Sonic Lost World. Yeah.
You wanted to say something, Captain?
Yeah, it just seems like Mimic has, like, some kind of standards when it comes to shapeshifting. He'll never shapeshift into somebody that can see him. So, yeah,
I
seems
guess
like
that makes sense.
that's why the cliche never happened.
Was that established? I don't recall, but I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I have to say, I absolutely love the beginning of the fourth comic, the atmosphere, like the whole sunset, and I love the colors and all that. And the art is just amazing in these comics. Love it, love
Yeah,
it, love
taking
it.
place in the abandoned base of the Diamond Cutters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's so weird. It's so like relaxing and kind of peaceful and warm, and yet it's still a suitable place for the final battle. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
the calm
it's
before
really
the
weird mix of
storm.
emotions. What was it, Luke?
I was saying that I like the panel where you see the army coming and how it fits with the contrast of the colours.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it really
I
does.
love the artwork. Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, artist is once again done by Evan Stanley, which I just realized when I was reading through this for the live stream.
Yeah, she's really the main artist for IDW, it seems. And that's a good thing because I love her artwork, so that's good.
Yeah, she has a great artwork.
So it is a she, right? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, Evan Stanley's a gal.
Alrighty. Before I say something
Okay.
stupid, I'm good at saying stupid stuff.
I think it was weird that these issues, issue 2 specifically, is the second time we've seen Whisper not whisper something.
Oh yeah, when she blurts out at the end like, "Oh, I don't want to lose another friend." It's like, yeah, it's pretty rare for that to happen.
It's nice character development. I like it.
Yeah, it was a very emotional ride, that's for sure. So I know it's nice.
Overall, these issues were really good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Oh, and also we get the confirmation that Tangle also likes chili dogs, so
Yeah.
Who
Of
doesn't?
course.
I guess.
she's pretty much just turning into Girl Sonic now, even though we've already got Amy and Blaze to fill that role.
Well, she's more of a hyperactive version of Amy in some ways.
Yeah, she has a unique personality, especially compared with Blaze. They're each other's polar opposites. Still,
Hmm.
it's kind of fun how they do love pairing Tangle up with the more relaxed, quiet characters.
Mm.
Kind of reminds me of myself in my own life. Like my best friends are also always like very thin, long, hyperactive people, who are completely opposite of me. I guess opposites do attract.
Which is ironic because in real life I'm extremely thin, even though there is kind of a personality duality for me, like online and whatnot on live streams. Yeah, I can be talkative depending on the right
Yeah.
topic, but in real life I'm like very mute.
Yeah.
It's different between normal people at work and fellow nerds, I guess. Because if this live stream was going to be about doing the taxes or jobs, and I'm sure you wouldn't be so talkative.
Oh no. But yeah, of course now Mimic's all locked up in that sealed cage rather than Whisper trying to kill him. Of course, I'm sure there's some people that are like, no, she should have just killed him right there and there. It's, it's kind of Tango brings out, if you do this, then you'll be no better than him, such and such. So it's kind of that,
Thing,
duality deal.
Yeah, look, what is it?
I'm saying it's kind of like Batman. He never kills his enemies. He just like tries to lock them up, even though they'll escape sooner or later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess I don't want to waste cool characters yet. Yeah, Captain, what is it?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry, I misheard then.
I think that was probably me. So yeah, with him, they just instead keep Mimic locked up in the cage, like, oh, just so we can stay locked up and know that he's failed his mission and whatnot. And Mimic just says, "I'd rather you just pull the trigger."
Poor
I just love
guy.
that bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about what Eggman would do if he catches a traitor. It's kind of weird to see him as a threatening villain like that. But yeah. Any more thoughts, Luke?
What I like about this story is I like how it has its dark and serious moments that you got the Zomba arc, but you kind of like got a bit more lighter in later arcs. I'd like to see that if they could go back to it, because it shows that this series can do dark and serious moments.
Yeah, this is definitely a series that knows how to balance those things
It
the right
kind
way.
of has that Archie feel to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does have I guess more in the later Archie Sonic, because when
Yeah.
it first started off, it was basically Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but with Sad AM characters, and then eventually it became a lot more darker. And then I
Yeah.
think when Ian Flynn joined in, then they started to have a better balance with the themes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point. I mean, most of the people working on IDW are now from the last half of IDW, so.
Yeah, that's true. Majority of the staff are former Archie Sonic staff, with writers and artists.
Hence why it feels so familiar. Makes sense. And hence why so many people want to see Sally and the Friends return.
Of course, but obviously that'll never happen.
We'll see.
So yeah, on screen right now, Roger put up the picture of the Omnipotence from Sonic Riders 1.
Okay, yep.
Yep.
Okay, so it is a thing, yeah. I think one of these days I should give writers a second chance. Like, I still have the first game, it's just been collecting dust for years. I don't have the second game, I might get that too. As for the third game, nah, not gonna bother
No.
with it. I'm not really an
Pass on that
Xbox
one.
guy.
Yeah, definitely pass on that one. It doesn't even work well.
Yeah, I think I tried watching the cutscenes, like those videos on YouTube that combine all the cutscenes for free writers, and I barely remember anything from it. The only thing I remember was this whole, random robot. I'm not random robot. I am Metal Sonic, which I think Roger spoofed that with his cartoon. So yeah, my only main exposure to free writers was from Roger.
Yeah, I'm considering picking up Sonic Riders because it's one of the few Sonic games I haven't played, and I would rather be interested in playing that than Sonic Team Racing due to how you'll get on these hoverboards and that.
Oh, absolutely. Riders
like
always
the
been
games.
frustrating to me. I love the concept, but it's just too complicated to play. But Zero Gravity is pretty good. Yeah, Captain, sorry for interrupting.
Actually, that was a good segue to what I was about to say. Is that the first two games I like, but they are very different. The first game gives you way more control, and that results in a higher skill floor. So it's a harder game to play, but it gives you more control. Whereas the second game simplifies a lot of things, so it's way easier to play, but it has a lower skill ceiling. So
Yeah, I heard Zero Gravity is easier to play.
it is, but I like it. Its gimmicks are nice. Its design is a lot cooler. Its story is stupider though, as Roger pointed out, because they get places by flying in circles.
And of course, not as stupid as Free Riders, which some would argue was where it was properly established with the meta era, with the characters being resetted, Shadow being a complete asshole, and yada yada.
Riders 1 and 2 are stupid in a fun way, where you just kind of laugh and just stupid and fun. Zero Gravity is just painful. The characters are just very unlikable. At least in the part 1 and 2, the characters are still likable. It's just kind of fun. You kind of have to laugh along with it.
Yeah, the only other bit I remember was like the Free Riders kind of reestablishes that Knuckles is a treasure hunter, which I remember that from one of the older episodes of Dissected when you brought that up with that whole clip, it's a thing we know among us treasure hunters or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that they talk about in Zero Gravity. Is Knuckles is still a treasure hunter, and he's actually one of the only people in the world that can read ancient Babylonian.
They had a lot of respect for Knuckles, shockingly, yeah. And what I love about the Riders series is that Dr. Eggman actually owns a robot factory. I wish I did a lot more with that, because that's an awesome concept.
Like,
Yeah, it's
story-wise, the Sonic Riders games are pretty interesting. The first two, anyway. And they respect Knuckles. Like, his only stupid moment that I can think off the top of my head is not him being stupid. It's just him not understanding Tails.
Well, I don't mind Knuckles being a
yeah,
little
but-
stupid, just as long as he
Yeah,
has
that scene where I
balancing
think he's talking
moments.
about the scene where Tails is trying to explain the science behind how the hoverboards work, and he's just not getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
writers
yeah,
did great.
interesting that they kept the whole treasure hunting bit, since they usually ignore. Like the only time I ever saw it brought up in any other Sonic media was from the new continuity of Archie Sonic, where they kind of it's kind of a throwaway thing, but they kind of explain it. Where Charmy's like, "Wait, when did you learn how to treasure hunting if you're guarding the Master Emerald?" And Knuckles is like, "What? A guy can't have a hobby?"
Yeah. Oh well.
So
yeah.
that got us off topic.
Quite a bit, but then again, I think we're already finished with the topic anyway, so I guess this is a
Yeah.
free-for-all. Talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
And who knows,
well,
if-
that's our common thing with this live stream, anyway.
If Izuka's right about the next game gonna be more of a new foundation, who knows, maybe the characters will get a proper new introduction or a new foundation. I hope so.
Yeah, a new foundation where the 2D segments are even more 2D.
Well, not if the open world rumors are true.
I highly doubt that. I don't really take things from like Reddit or whatnot seriously.
Oh, it came from 4chan originally, so you
I
know
don't
you can
take that
take it seriously.
either.
We'll see. We'll see. There's nothing-
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed for something new.
Yeah.
I'm
New
just
things to
more
complain
satisfied-
about, at least. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'm a little more satisfied with just the whole Sonic add-on for Minecraft, because it actually is a 3D Sonic game in some ways. Well, there's only like 2 camera modes in Minecraft. It's like first-person view and third-person view. I usually use third-person view the most, and the only time I use first-person view are the special stages when getting the emeralds, because those are kind of designed more like it's a free-falling, where you're like falling from the sky and have to avoid mines and the walls and everything. But yeah, there is kind of a way to make it 2D, but you have to really fiddle around with the camera, and not the best way to play it if you want to, speed up.
I was kind of disappointed how linear the level looks like. Although, to Minecraft's credit, at least they presented it more in an arcade way. It's like, oh, just collect so many rings to unlock goodies. So in that case, I'm a little bit more at peace with it. It's not supposed to be in a big adventure. But yeah, I
Yeah,
love
and-
Tails' Garage. It looks amazing, at least.
Yeah, Tails Garage is definitely full of a lot of references. You got the Tails doll, the Emerald Shards from Sonic Adventure 2, and of course the Tornado 2, which, funny enough, I was complaining about in a previous live stream of how we barely saw it, and hey, here it is, yay! So I guess Sega was listening to my complaints last time.
Well, besides the reference, just the atmosphere is awesome. But yeah, Luke, you have anything left to say about the comics or anything else?
Not really.
You're done.
I think I'm good. Tangle and Whisper miniseries was pretty good, so yeah, definitely looking forward to when the next time we cover a miniseries on this live stream.
Sure.
Bad guys.
So, guys, shall we go through the comments and see if there's anything we want to respond there, or do we want to quit and leave it?
I already have something I want to respond to in the comments.
All right, go ahead.
Adrian and Nathaniel are talking about Sonic and Rainbow Dash. It's funny you guys mentioned that. I actually have a series on one of my secondary channels, OCA guys, called Sonic and Rainbow Dash. I did the writing and directing and editing, and I even voiced Sonic in it. So please check those out. I'm kind of proud of some of the older ones. Not so much the episode 3, which is about Rarity and Rouge, but I'm still proud of the animation of that episode because I actually animated that one.
Ooh, I didn't even know that. I'm such a terrible friend.
Well, I animated it stop motion with Gmod, but
Fair enough. What's the name
Ah,
again
nice.
of your channel?
OCA guys. Just the letters OCA and then the word guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't gotten an actual Sonic and MOP crossover with the comics, considering that IDW also does MOP comics, and ironically, a lot of the IDW Sonic staff have
What I
actually
wanna
worked on the
see-
MOP comics.
I want to see Sonic and Transformers.
Right?
Yeah, I could see that, but right now all we have is MOP and Transformers. 2 of them, in
Yeah.
fact.
And
Yeah, I mean,
before-
imagine Eggman working off with Megatron. That'd be so dope.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he like upgrades Megatron.
Oh yeah.
Of course, another crossover idea people want to see with IDW is, I think it was Sonic and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I think IDW also still does the Turtle comics.
That would be that would be the best thing a 7-year-old me would have ever seen.
As for
Honestly,
me, yeah,
it would have been top 10 for 29-year-old me.
as for me, the only thing I could think of is just Sonic and MOP. Some would argue it wouldn't work, but I don't know, I'd find it amusing. I mean, it worked when that Toucan LMG, whatever, when he did a Sonic and MOP crossover. But since they announced that the IDW MOP comics will be ending, then yeah, it's not gonna happen. Oh well.
Oh, thanks for putting it on the screen, Roger.
Sure. Oh, it looks pretty impressive, especially when you
Yeah,
do
it's nice
use
to-
Gmod.
Yeah, well, yeah, episode 1 is just audio, but episode
still-
2, because action happens, I needed to have something on screen, and I tried to get animators and couldn't get any, obviously, so I just did it myself with Gmod.
That still a Rainbow Dash looks more like something out of Source Filmmaker. But I don't know. If it was done in Gmod, then holy hell, that's like really great
Oh,
lighting
no,
animation.
that is from a different video entirely.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
yeah. Definitely looks like Source Filmmaker.
It is.
Yeah, because yeah, Gmod, it's like, yeah, you can animate Gmod, but it's more of a stop motion process, while Source Filmmaker is definitely more of an animation program.
Yeah.
Well, you know more than me in that regard. Maybe we should ask you guys to do some 3D animation for me.
Well, I've done
yeah, I
Source Filmmaker pics, but I don't have the patience to animate.
And I'd be willing to do Gmod stop motion. It's fun.
Yeah, of course you could try Source Filmmaker out for yourself since it is free. Free on Steam to get.
I have no patience to learn
Ro-
new programs.
Roger barely tries with 2D animation. Don't get him started.
I actually did try and do a Gmod animated video. I think fitting with the recurring theme here. It was called Sniper Becomes a Brony, and it's just basically Sniper trying to befriend Fluttershy. But yeah, I recommend you don't watch it because it clearly shows that I really don't have the patience to animate fluent animation in Gary's mod.
All right. So Jonathan Vo asks, "Do you like Looney Tunes characters?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Looney Tunes characters.
I think Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote is the greatest cartoon ever made.
Ah, yes, the classic rivals. And then, of course, we have the upcoming Space Jam, a new legacy film coming out.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, could be fun.
Yeah.
I like.
I actually liked the original.
Yeah, me too. I mean, too
Yeah,
much basketball
I remember
for my
watching
taste.
the original, but I can't remember what I thought of it. It's been way too long since I've seen it for myself.
I was fine with
I'm not interested myself. Maybe it's the old fuddy-duddy, old man myself thing. But if you want to see it, that's fine.
All right. What do you?
The CGI characters don't really appeal to me. That how they're all CGI in there. It doesn't really appeal to me that much.
Yeah.
Fair
I've
enough.
mostly heard. Well, I've heard like the whole CGI thing in the sequel is gonna be like something for the last bit, but I don't know. I mostly remember in the trailer they show like all these random characters, and they're like, oh, they're Hanna-Barbera characters. Oh, Iron Giant, they're coming in to watch the match. So it definitely really reminded me of Ready Player One, which is ironic because I haven't seen that film either.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. See, Jonathan asked if I had a YouTube play button. No, I never got it. I think I got in too much copyright issues for that, so I'm disqualified.
Yeah, Paramount just really didn't like that original version of Sonic movie Dissected.
Nope. No, they didn't.
AE Double asks, "Why does Sonic drive a car?" We've already answered this question. Check out Sonic Dissected number 6 on YouTube.
Yeah. And in fact, in the recently released Sonic 30th Anniversary comic special, they actually do provide a different explanation with why Sonic's trying to take driver's ed.
Yeah, there was a very old Sonic game where he's like a cop.
Yeah, that
That's
was
right.
Yeah, there was that, but yeah, of course, the comics version is a different explanation where basically there's this race going on, and the winner wins a lifetime supply of chili dogs. The only catch is that it's a car-only race, so hence why he's trying to learn how to drive a car, just for them chili dogs.
Which would be... That's great, because Sonic with a lifetime supply of chili dogs means that some chili dog company is about to go out of business.
Yep.
All right, I guess we're finished talking right about now.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
Yeah, can't think of anything else.
Luke, you have anything going on? Anything you need to tell the audience?
Not that I could think of.
You just finished your big project, your big drawing, so that's pretty awesome. Check it
Yeah,
out.
that picture I worked so hard on and busy posting it everywhere.
Yeah, 30th anniversary. As for me, I've video projects have been a little bit slow. I haven't gotten around to doing the Forgotten Media Wonderland comics yet. I'm mostly trying to work on a new background first. But these days I've been a little too busy making a lot of images in Gary's mod. Like one of the pics I recently made was with with how the whole announcement of there being a Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover officially happening, I'm like, you know what? Let's make a better crossover. So how about Courage the Cowardly Dog meets Freddy Krueger? So that was the
my
recent
God.
pick I did on Gary's mod.
Oh well, so many possibilities.
And as for me, I'm still working on that Game Grumps Dan out of context video, because I've just been taking it very slowly for some reason.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Guess the summer heat is getting to us. Anyway,
It's
yeah.
been, well, over here recently, it's been raining like crazy, but yeah, it's been getting humid over here.
Not fun. Anyway, I guess that's the end. So see you guys next time, and bye bye again.
Goodbye.